So hello and welcome to the 2021 Launchbox Demo Day. I'm Alison Tracy and I'm the Student Startup and Innovation Manager here at Tangent, which means it has been my pleasure and my privilege to work with the 10 startups you'll be hearing from today over the last 3 months. Launchbox Demo Day is always the culmination of a huge amount of hard work by the startups, and never more so than this year. Anyone who saw them pitch to get onto the programme last spring will notice just how much each team has progressed over the summer, and even indeed beyond the summer. They've been working on some of these ideas for a long time. Their hard work, their enthusiasm, their engagement, even though we've been online, has been something else. And I'm just delighted to be presenting them all to you to showcase their innovation today. Before we hand over, though, to these entrepreneurs and showcase their pitches, we will have some remarks from our Tangent Innovation partners, Bank of Ireland. But first, to formally open the event, we have some remarks from our Provost, Dr. Linda Doyle, who will be opening the event with some remarks. So over to you, Provost.
Hi everybody, I'm delighted to be here today virtually to welcome you to Launchbox's Demo Day. I think it promises to be a fantastic event. Launchbox, as you all know, is run by Tangent. Tangent is at the heart of innovation here in Trinity. And Launchbox, I suppose, exemplifies and embodies our commitment to student innovation. We're very proud of the fact that Trinity is Europe's leading university when it comes to innovation. And you who are here today are at the heart of that and will help us keep that accolade going for the future. I love the fact that Launchbox is a student-facing accelerator programme, and I'm particularly impressed that that innovation has kept going throughout COVID. I know it hasn't been easy for people to get together, and oftentimes when we think of innovation, we think of being present, we think of that brainstorming that happens, we think of the things that happen on purpose, and we think of the things that happen by mistake. And it's just really inspiring to me that all of you were able to do that and deal with the pandemic and come up with such great ideas. I know the students who are here today went through a very competitive process to get down to this final 10, with over 70 groups competing to be included. So well done to all. I also know that some of the alumni from Launchbox joined and helped out, and I think that's really, really important and helps continue this kind of wonderful tradition of innovation here. So I believe Eric Risser was involved, Sean Judge, Finn Murphy, Dan Hobbs, Pierce Dargan, and Amy Louise Carton. So that's a fantastic list of alumni, and long may that continue. So finally, I would just like to say a few brief thank yous. Huge thank you to Bank of Ireland, Tangent's innovation partners. Huge thanks to the judging panel, who no doubt will have a tough task on their hand. I just want to thank all the speakers and everyone who participated in Launchbox over its duration. A special thanks to Alison Tracy, Student Startup and Innovation Manager, who developed the programme and has been working with the team all summer. And of course, thanks to the wider Tangent team, who are so fantastic and do us all proud.
Thank you so much. We will now hear from our Tangent Innovation Partners, represented here today by Michael McLaughlin, who is also a member of our Tangent board. So we'll hand over now to Michael.
Good afternoon, everyone. Bank of Ireland is delighted to be a supporter of Launchbox, in our 4th year as Tangent Innovation Partner. I'm excited and really looking forward to seeing the creative pitches from the various teams today. The collaborative relationship between Trinity and Bank of Ireland goes back much further than the past 4 years, however. When the bank was founded in 1783, Trinity College was actually our second ever customer. And we've become close neighbours since, with our move down onto College Green since the early 19th century. Both historic institutions have one thing in common though. Throughout the centuries and decades, we have responded to changing society, economy and environment, and helped Ireland to embrace innovation for the betterment of our country. Today we forge a new future for Ireland by acting as both innovative leaders and facilitators. As the national champion Bank of Ireland see change all around us. In fact, in the past few years, change has accelerated rapidly in the world of banking and finance. The very concept of money and currency and how it supports an economy and society has been redefined. For example, in June of this year, across the island of Ireland, There were more than 2.4 million contactless payments made per day, a 62% increase in just a year. Today, the bank's digital channel is our biggest branch, with 131 million digital logins in the first 6 months of the year. There's no doubt the pandemic has accelerated the shift in consumer behaviour towards digital banking. While we stay ahead of the innovation curve, these changes present huge opportunities for new companies to develop new products and services. We support that innovation. That is why Bank of Ireland is delighted to support Launchbox. We are thrilled to see Trinity students forge their own path, both during and after the college, as new entrepreneurs. Throughout our partnership, we have supported Trinity students and budding entrepreneurs in a number of ways. Our staff have acted as mentors on Women Who Wow, Tangent's mentoring programme for female entrepreneurs. Our enterprise experts have been delighted to sit in judging panels for Launchbox, the Provost Innovation Challenge, Sprints and more, helping to give feedback to startups. We have even provided space in our Manhattan branch in New York for Tangent startups, including the previous winners of Launchbox. Our industry experts regularly do sit down with startups and offer them our years of financial and business expertise. We have also supported furthering Trinity's reach throughout the rollout of Tangent regional education programmes to support jobs across the island of Ireland. We take pride in supporting Irish business at home and abroad. We are one of the biggest lenders to small business on the island of Ireland, and we are a leading lender on the government-supported business lending schemes. As businesses scale up, we are also the #1 corporate bank, supporting major industries from our offices across the world. I've no doubt that many of the people presenting here today will shoot up in the world of business. The last 18 months have not been easy for anyone, but it's inspiring to see people eager to change the world and start something new in the difficult climate. I congratulate all of today's finalists, and I eagerly await your next exciting career moves. We're here to help you. Thank you.
So to the business end of today's event, first of all, to introduce our judges, we have Stuart Coulson, who is joining us from California. Thank you so much, Stuart. Stuart is adjunct professor at Stanford's D School. He's also on the Tangent board and is a longtime supporter of Launchbox. In fact, he was one of the founding Launchbox angels. Thank you so much for joining us, Stuart. Michaela O'Leary will be having Demo Day flashbacks today as she took part in Launchbox 2017. Michaela is now head of campus for Talent Garden. Thank you very much, Michaela. Michaela has also been a Women Who Wow supporter for many years, so thank you for that. And finally, last but not least, we have Menno Axt, head of platform for NDRC and Dogpatch Labs, who are very generously offering the winning team today 6 months co-working at Dogpatch, which is a fantastic addition to the prize. Thank you all so much and welcome. I will briefly go through how it will work today. We will show each team's 5-minute pitch, after which our panel of esteemed judges will have time to ask them some questions. When we reach the 5-minute mark, I'm going to raise my hand like so. So you can see that it's the last question and the team should be free to answer, but we should probably wrap up after that. At the end of the pitches and while our judges jump off to deliberate in their separate Zoom room, we will hear from Ken Finnegan, CEO of Tangent, Trinity's Ideas Workspace. A reminder, just while pitches are on, please ensure that your microphones are muted. And of course, to the teams, when you're answering questions, don't forget to unmute. That does happen. That's another Teams bingo we'll have. And likewise, of course, to the judges. Best of luck to everyone. Are we all set? Is everyone feeling good? I'm going to try really hard not to get thrown off the call. Okay, so our first team up is One Sure Thing with Tanya and Jane. Tanya and Jane met while taking part in Tangent's PG Cert and went on to win the Launchpad Sprints last autumn. Best of luck.
We all share one sure thing with 100% certainty. We will all die and we will all lose people we love. Losing a loved one is an overwhelming experience. Hi, I'm Jane. I've spent half my life running away from difficult conversations. One day, I grew up when my best friend's baby, Oscar, was born with a condition incompatible with life. So for the last 15 years, I've been embracing life and death, setting up Laurel Lynn Children's Hospice with the wonderful Jane McKenna, and bringing dying, death and bereavement to life with the Irish Hospice Foundation. Tanya and I met on a postgrad in Tangent and found that our values and work ethic were aligned. Our deadly advisory board share invaluable expertise. Meet Grandad Tommy, a local grocer. Everything he did for his family to care and protect them. Last year, 4 loved ones died. Only Tommy had a plan. Everything from his suit to songs. It was a gift to us his family left behind. Most of us have no real plan in place to live well till the end. Only 3 in 10 have a will or any plan, leaving it for those we love the most to sort. Everything from our bank accounts to our bodies. As a result, every year, over 3.2 million families in Europe are left in distress and chaos. They're totally unprepared, head in the sand and struggling as they avoided any discussion. One sure thing is end-of-life planning made easy. It's a digital planning assistant to organise all your wishes and vital documents in one secure online safe. A gentle journey walks you through 6 categories on a personalised dashboard. Asks simple questions about your ideal funeral, healthcare wishes, passwords, who will mind the dog, or speak on your behalf if you can't. You can upload important documents. You can add information a little at a time, building up your personal vault. It's downloadable and shareable with your nominated key holders.
Global evidence shows that the pandemic has spurred end-of-life planning. It's a form of self-care. The timing is right. 83% of 35 to 54-year-olds want to plan. There is huge success with end-of-life platforms in America, but nothing like this in Ireland or Europe. Did you know there's 85 million euros in unclaimed life policies and 25 billion euros worth of Bitcoin as families don't know they exist? There are 4 major competitors in death tech, 3 in the US and 1 in the UK, but none within the EU. The startup scene for end-of-life planning is getting lively though, with 1 in Holland, France and Germany, but focusing only on funerals or legacy. One sure thing will manage the complete planning journey from start to finish. Everplans is currently the strongest competitor in the B2B sector, serving clients and employees of over 400 companies, and it was acquired in January for an estimated $30 million. Our market and competitor research has shown great opportunities for B2B routes to market, such as life and health insurances, who care and protect families, trusted advisors and solicitors, who plan for their clients' futures, and organizations who look after their employees. However, end-user research has shown a viable demand from individuals and families also, so one sure thing will therefore have a subscription model for end users who can sign up directly on our website. The B2B market will be served with a SaaS business model, where companies will promote one sure thing directly to their customers to allow for greater scalability. We will sell minimum threshold licenses with 3 bespoke options, with a variety of features to include co-branded or white label. Year-on-year growth will come from selling bulk licenses with annual recurring revenue. We start with Ireland, then UK and Germany next.
Our traction so far. There's been lots of research and learning. Our MVP is testing with 2 brokerages. We've talked to the top people in insurance and intermediaries. There's an excitement and opportunity to capitalise on this. Thanks to Launchbox, our website is built. Our business plan developed. We've had multiple advisor meetings and end user workshops, so we are now good to go. Our vision is to transform how people live and die, one plan at a time. So our goals for the next 3 months are to beta test with 2 businesses, bridge our team gaps, roll out our sales and marketing strategy. Together, one sure thing is we can make it easier for our loved ones when we die. You only die once. Let's get it right with one sure thing. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Over to our judges.
So maybe I'll jump in and ask the first question. So congratulations, wonderful work, and always hard to be the first team to go in any presentation or pitch. So wonderful for that too. Clearly part of your market is going to be older people, I'm guessing, in theory, since it's probably more on their minds and closer to what they're considering. Have you come across, or are you thinking about the technical barrier for older people to get involved with your product?
Yes. So our research has kind of identified that the key area that we'll be going towards will be the 45 to 55 year age group in the first tranche. However, this kind of age population are very much levers as they all have aging parents. And as a result, they will involve their parents in the process. And so therefore then there will be more a hand-holding process, and it's something that we will offer on the website as well. So that from start to finish, as Tanya was saying, it'll be a full planning journey. We want people to live well till the end, and then to be able to give peace of mind to their families. So for those families that can have the discussion together, that's great. They can do it together as a family. If not, then there'll be supports that we'll put in place that will assist the older generation to use One Sure Thing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Shall I jump in, if that's okay? A great presentation. Thank you very much. One thing I was wondering about, how do you delegate access to the people that need to be able to access basically this virtual wheel in the end?
So what we encourage people to do is to invite their loved ones to be trusted key holders. So a minimum of 3 is what we're suggesting, and we give guidelines, so people that they know and trust, and there can be different levels. So the person who is setting up their plan, so if you were setting up your plan, Menno, you have the opportunity to tick which boxes that you're happy to share now, and those on your demise.
And when I pass away, right? How does your platform know that I'm passed away? Does a death certificate get shared with a doctor, or how does it work, or with you?
The way we're suggesting to do this at the moment is that once one key holder basically activates One Sure Thing, as in tries to get access to the information, all other key holders and the account holder will be notified. So, and then basically we will need all key holders to confirm that the information should now be released. Okay.
So it's
if the death cert may not be available straight away and so on. So in order not to have a delay, this is what we're proposing at the moment.
Okay, Michaela.
Thank you, and thank you, ladies. It was a great presentation. The branding was really coherent. I have a question about your route to market, but Menno has inspired me to ask another one first. It seems like you are holding a lot of private personal information on your potential customers. So I'm wondering, do you have security policies built into the digital platform?
Absolutely, and it was one of the key things that we it's hugely important to us. So we have invested with a lawyer to kind of look at our security policy. We're looking we have a 2-factor authentication, and also we are making sure from a data capture that we've all the GDPR and privacy rights protected as well.
And encryption.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And then just on your route to market, so I see you're doing B2C and B2B. Do you have an acquisition strategy for your B2C? And then in terms of B2B, they're very long sales pipelines. It's very hard to get in the door. Do you have connections in big corporations that you intend to partner with? And yeah, if you could just tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. Well, in terms of B2C, that's been a recent, I suppose, not a pivot, but it's an expansion given the customer discovery that we're doing. So we have an ongoing live testing with our MVP, which is yielding real-time results and learnings. And during all these conversations with the kind of problem owners, they've asked that they want to use it directly. So we feel we should have an offering for consumers. So we know it'll be a bigger, the acquisition strategy for that is going to be mostly through social media and through our early adopters that are already on the program. In terms of B2B, we've already engaged with a lot of people in the industry, and there's a lot of people that have given us, have shown interest and would like to know more, as well as the 2 brokerages that it's with. So what we want to do now is narrow that down. We feel that's the way to go in terms of gaining greater scalability rather than the B2C route, but we want to have an offering for that given our early adopters have shown such interest.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Michaela.
Thank you so much, guys. We're going to move on to our second pitch of the evening. So Diglot, an innovative approach to language learning, and another team who came to us via our Tangent Sprints program. Over to you, Evan and Cian.
5 years ago, to impress a girl, I tried to learn Portuguese through Duolingo. But after a year of dedication, I couldn't read, write, or speak any Portuguese. The app told me I was making progress, so why was I going nowhere? That's when I discovered the shocking statistic that for every 10 hours a student spends in a language learning classroom, they learn only one word. I knew there had to be a better way. I found out that the world's top language learners and language researchers do things completely differently. They have a method that allows them to speak a language in just 1 year. So what is it? Consume and understand interesting content. The problem is that people just don't understand enough words on the page to understand content in their target language. As you can see here, beginners can't just pick up Japanese Lord of the Rings, or at least they weren't able to until now. Diglot allows complete beginners to read interesting stories by keeping most of the words in English while the rest of the words are in the target language. Here's a demo of the story Lord of the Ubiwa.
Cian, you have to destroy the Ubiwa.
But when I wear the Ubiwa, I feel powerful.
Cian, don't you put that Ubiwa on your finger, I'm warning you.
Congratulations. Everyone in the audience just acquired their first Japanese word entirely through context. This is how our books work, and as the story progresses, more and more foreign words are added. This means for the first time ever, complete beginners can read and listen to the most popular novels while becoming fluent in their target language. We already have 16 books in our collection, spanning 6 languages, with new books and languages coming every single week. We sell these books worldwide on Amazon and direct through our website at diglot.ie for between 12 to 15 euro. Our team has grown to 4 core members. I'm the inventor of Diglot and obsessed with methods of learning languages. Evan has always wanted to run a business centered around education, and as a person who despised language learning in school, Diglot perfectly resonated with him. Sinead is a veteran in the startup scene and manages business and operations. Oisin is the latest addition to the Diglot family, leading our tech build. He studies computer science and linguistics and is working with us to build the AI engine that increases the efficiency and accuracy of our book publishing process.
We've also taken on an army of over 55 passionate interns. These interns truly believe in the Diglot mission and work with us tirelessly to change the way that languages are learned forever. It is an incredibly exciting time in the language learning space. The direct-to-consumer market is booming, led by Duolingo's incredibly successful IPO. The surge in optimism by edtech investors has led to projections that the market will grow to $115 billion within just 3 years. Our main competitors are those who provide beginner short stories, like Ollie Richards and the website Link. But it is clear that we are targeting a unique pocket of the market, as our books are easy to understand and will always be more enjoyable to read. To date, our main route to market has been via social media marketing. We have a lively and dedicated Instagram following of over 3,500 language lovers. We have also seen strong sales leads from targeted Facebook posts, collaboration with influencers, and more recently via TikTok, where we are able to 100x a €6 investment into €665 in sales within only 24 hours. We are already selling in multiple bookstores and are in contact with over 50 more from around the globe. To date, we have sold 1,671 books. Our sales trajectory clearly shows that we have found a product market fit. We have sold to more than 22 different countries, all while maintaining an average profit margin of 58%. We are confident that with a larger book collection, higher quality products, and more established brand, we will achieve 9,000 book sales in this Black Friday and Christmas season. We project that this will generate us over €95,000 in gross profit. Our plans for the coming months are incredibly exciting. We will have a 50 book collection by mid-November spanning 12 languages and become the first company in the world to produce a book that allows the reading of Japanese, Chinese, Arabic, and Hindi in context from day one. From there, we will move to audiobooks, which have been highly requested from hundreds of our customers. This will allow people to listen to their favorite stories and learn languages all on the go. Our plans in the long term are even more industry disrupting. We hope to raise our first seed round by early January 2022. With this capital, we will build the first online Diglot marketplace. Its core function will operate on 3 simple steps. 1. Uploading a book of your choice to the marketplace. 2. Choose the language you want to learn. 3. Seamlessly start learning languages from day one while reading a book of your choice, completely tailored to your level of language fluency. This is where we will build our language community. Users can come together and vote on different translations and texts and work together to create unique Diglot weaves. We are incredibly proud of the passionate fanbase we have already built. Help us change the way languages are learnt forever by picking up a Diglot book today.
And over to our judges for some questions.
Can I jump in? How did you come up with the idea?
I came up with the idea. I'm a language learner and I do lots of research in language learning, academic and like the studies and stuff like that. And I just saw there was quite a gap between the research between extensive reading and reading in context and a few other things. There's a longer story about me meeting a linguist and having a debate with him and all this kind of stuff, but it was kind of a eureka moment sort of thing.
Hi guys, thanks so much for that presentation. It was great.
Thanks.
I brought a tech company through Launchbox, so I'm working with a bit of domain information here. My first question actually is around taking very popular books and using them as the base of your business model. Is there any copyright issues there? Do you think that someone might knock on your door one day and be like, hey, you're making money off my product?
Well, it's something we've been very careful about. So all of the books that we have released up until now are in public domain. So that means that it's been 95 years since the author has produced that work. So that we can freely distribute that and edit it and translate it in any way we want. But that's really only the start of it. We hope to move from public domain books into more new novels by securing the exclusive rights from those authors. But we would be absolutely sure to ask them first and secure those rights in the proper legal manner.
Great, fantastic. And I just have a question about any future products, because I know the edtech market is booming right now, but a lot of it may be for professionally focused or language education where you get a formalized degree or certificate after it. Do you think the market is big enough in terms of passive reading, novels, fiction, and that passive interest in language? Do you know what size that market is and if it's enough to have a sustainable long-term business?
The literary market is absolutely huge, and I've read reports constantly that reading is only on the up, and reading paperbacks, weirdly enough, is only on the up. So absolutely, I think there will never be a shortage of people wanting to learn and wanting to read these incredible stories that have been produced throughout the ages.
Great, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
So Michaela took my low-hanging fruit question on copyright.
Yeah.
I'm not an IP lawyer and I don't play one on TV, but just be careful about the length of time for those books because it's different in different copyright zones. So I'll push that a little bit further. If you were to purchase the right to publish books, presumably so that you're producing books that are probably more popular for the people you're trying to serve, how will that change your cost structure?
Well, our cost actually producing the book is incredibly low. So all of the upfront cost will be just in trying to arrange that for the rights to, secure that title. To which we think we'll be able to do very easily. We have now good contacts within Easton's and CJ Fallon's in the publishing industry. So we'll be able to get in front of these authors and really talk about how we'll be able to revive their books. So for the first time ever, these Irish authors will be able to weave Irish words into their books. They're absolutely love that. Authors are coming to us saying this idea is fantastic. We love it. They will openly want their books to be diglotted. It's really a positive sum game for both of us.
Okay, and then a quick follow-on question. It's not a follow-on question, it's another question. Have you got any statistics or any feedback in terms of the speed of picking up a new language? You talked in your presentation about one word in 10 hours. How do you compare with that?
Yeah, well, there's actually been loads of studies on this specific method and reading as a whole. So on average, it takes about 12 times to reading a word in context to pick it up. And that's like fully understand it without having to translate it or do anything like that. And the studies done on this method specifically conform with that. So this method is something that has been in the academia for maybe 40 years, 50 years, but it's never really been brought out into something that's commercialized. So yeah, there's good studies on it.
Alison, I don't know, is there allowed for one more question or are we done?
Yeah, work away, man, and one more is fine.
Yeah. So in terms of developing these books, right, how does it go? Have you developed an algorithm on it, or do you do it manually, or how does it work?
So luckily for us, a lot of the infrastructure for actually manufacturing the books and distributing them exists on Amazon. So we don't actually have to handle any of that. It's completely done by Amazon, which is why our cost structure is so low. We've developed an algorithm that Cian might talk more on, that makes the actual script and does the translation.
And then we have, if we get a script that's complete in English, we then send it through an algorithm that does, say, like 90% of the work. Then we get native speakers to edit those books and make sure they're all correct. Then we have some AI that learns from those corrections so that every single one that we produce is more and more accurate. And we hope that eventually we'll be able to get it so we won't even need the editing stage.
Okay, so as long as the content keeps flowing in, there's no bottleneck in terms of you for scaling up and producing 100 books a month or whatever it is.
Every script we produce is better than the last and increases the speed that we can produce scripts and publish books.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thanks so much, guys. Well done. Our next team up, we have Heather, Kieran, and Dylan, who together make Team Unipear.
I want you to think back to when you were about to start college for the first time. What did you expect it to be like? Did you imagine a new world of freedom, friends, parties, and a chance to reinvent yourself? This is not always every student's experience. In fact, according to a 2019 study conducted by the USI, a terrifying 1/3 of students in Ireland have a mental health diagnosis. Beyond the first year bubble, it often becomes harder to keep connected to other students. Your friend group becomes smaller, and many students feel isolated. Our team experienced this firsthand, and it galvanized us to take action. From a survey we conducted with over 150 Irish students, we have found that only 26% of students felt that their mental well-being was supported by their university, and 66% of students have experienced loneliness. Furthermore, 91% said that they would like to meet more people within their university community. So it is clear that there is a social connectivity issue amongst university students. But how can we solve this? Our solution is Unipear. Unipear is a college-wide platform that connects students based on shared experiences and interests. 98% of Gen Z own a smartphone, so we need to engage with students where they already are. At Unipear, we want to prevent student loneliness and isolation by facilitating the building of peer-to-peer relationships. Student loneliness has a big impact on engagement and retention. Currently, Trinity spends nearly €2 million on counselling services and loses up to $7 million annually due to student attrition. These figures are not unique to Trinity. This is common across colleges globally. We want students to feel a sense of belonging at their university. Students with a strong sense of belonging are not only less likely to report mental health issues, they're also more likely to stay on and graduate. Kieran, our technical expert, will now tell you a bit more about the Unipear team and how our platform works.
Thanks, Heather. Our dynamic team makes us uniquely suited to developing this platform, as we possess a wide range of perspectives and skills. Dylan is managing the business and finance for the team. Heather is in charge of user experience and communications, having previously worked with peer support services and student counselling, and I am leading the technical development. We're also lucky to have incredible advisors. Amy Louise Carton, co-founder of Keep Appy, and Paul Barlow, CCO of Media Locate. To tell you about how Unipear works, let's follow the user journey of Lucy, a first-year student new to university. After downloading the Unipear app, Lucy will use her college-verified email address to sign up. This ensures that Unipear is a safe and secure college community platform. Once verified, Lucy can fill out her user profile. This includes year, course information, and interests, among other things. Our matching algorithm then provides Lucy with a list of potential matches. She can view their user profiles and choose someone to connect with. Each user's profile includes their preferred way to connect. For example, users may choose to chat via WhatsApp or Messenger. Beyond forming connections, the platform also provides contact information and well-being services specific to each university or student union. Dylan will now go ahead and discuss what makes Unipear unique.
Thanks, Kieran. There are currently many friendship apps available on the market. Examples include Zeme, Friender, and Meetup. However, none of these platforms go far enough to directly address the issue of student loneliness within a university community. This is what makes Unipear stand out, with our unique matching algorithm that will ensure a great moat as we continue to grow. We will launch Unipear initially as a proof of concept within Trinity College before expanding into other university communities. We will partner with student unions and other organisations within colleges. We are currently partnered with the Trinity Student Union and the Trinity Hall JCR. These partnerships will be subject to further market evaluation and can be extended to include promotions in future iterations. There are nearly 3 million students in Ireland and the UK alone, but issues of student welfare are not confined to geographical regions, meaning Unipear has significant scope to scale internationally. We will start in the UK and then expand further into Europe. Over the course of Launchbox, we have conducted extensive customer research in the forms of interviews, focus groups, and surveys. From this, we learned that 77% of students would use a platform that matches them with other like-minded people. We also launched our website and developed our MVP, as well as made valuable connections and partnerships within Trinity. After undertaking our proof of concept within TCD, we will launch in other Irish universities in January 2022. We will also implement additional features on the platform, as well as expand the Unipear team. At Unipear, we are on a mission to connect students,
so that the college life future students imagine is one that can be made a reality
with just the tap of a button.
Thanks, guys. I can go first. Really nice pitch. You framed the problem really, really well. I think it resonates with everyone. University can certainly be a bit of a lonely experience. So I saw in your timeline that you're looking to raise funding. So I imagine it's a social enterprise, but you still need to have some type of support. Is there any revenue model built into your long-term goals, or are you planning to rely solely on funding and support from agencies?
Yeah, thanks, Michaela. That's a great question. So initially, we'll be doing our proof of concept within Trinity this semester, and then in January 2022, we'll be expanding into other Irish universities. So our funding model initially will be based on grants and also an annual fee from the student unions, which will be set at €3 per student. And from that, in future iterations, we intend to include a promotion section on the platform as well. This demographic in particular, young students, is one of the most sought after in digital marketing, and we see it as a really important and potentially expansive part of the platform. Thanks.
Great. And I just have one more question, if you don't mind. So is the goal with the app to get your students using it and retain it on their phone and consistently go back to use it? Or is the goal for the app to be that meeting place and that launch pad to make a meaningful connection and bring it out into the real world?
Yeah, it's exactly as you said it. So for us, a successful user journey is making that connection. So we're striving to make connections, whether they're in person or online. We want students to find their people, their place within college. So a successful user journey would be, if they do delete the app, that means we've made that connection and it's a major success. But in the long term, we want to make Unipear the all-inclusive college platform, whether that has the messaging, societies, everything about college events, college life in general will be there. So we want them to engage with it there as well.
Great, thank you so much.
So going on to this, right? I saw that you guys have Bumble Friends as a competitor on there, but you said that that you were still needed because it's open for the general public, not just for university students. Can you explain a little bit more to me about that? Because in my head, right, I'm like, okay, someone is not going to be a college student forever for their entire life, but they do want to have friends, right, for their entire life. Like that's part of the reason why Facebook opened up to more people as well. And two, right, isn't it also important that people meet people from outside of their own university?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, we agree. There's a lot of different demographics that you can, talk about loneliness and about mental health with. But for us, the immediate problem that we saw was in universities where students were really impacted by loneliness, particularly first years and international students coming in, as well as Erasmus students and postgrads. The reason why we're different is, we are a closed college community platform. So it means that, only registered students with a college verified email address can use the platform. And the reason for this is that students can meet people within their community. I think there's sort of sometimes a fear about meeting a complete stranger, and there's sort of a safety element there. And I think when someone goes away from college, like goes away for college, they want to meet people within their community and within their college. So that's why we're based in colleges. But we have considered expanding maybe to the young professional demographic at a later stage. But right now, our main focus is on student loneliness.
Okay, and then one final question from me. You wrote in your timeline that you were building an MVP. What has been the feedback on that so far? Do you have any users on it? How many users do you have on it?
Thanks. I can see the other two smiling there. I love talking about this. But so it's a super exciting stage for us. We've been developing the MVP over the course of the summer. And we're at a point now where we're just getting through the final stages of publishing and quality assurance. So we have a list of beta testers already lined up from our partnerships with the JCR and with the student unions. And so we're ready to go with that. We've already kind of rolled it out to some of our friends and gotten positive feedback there. And we've just continually been doing customer research. So at every stage of the development, we have had mock-ups and then later iterations of the actual MVP. And we continually just seek that feedback. And so far we've been, getting positive feedback on it and also just really kind of focusing in on our main feature, which is the matching for this iteration.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sort of a follow on to that, I guess. I'm imagining that one of the key moments in a student's life where this is important is day one, when people come on campus for the first time. And I'm wondering, what have you thought about, or what are you doing in terms of awareness and adoption at that very early stage when people are just coming on campus and all confused, as I was a long time ago, about what's happening and where to go and what to do?
Yeah, so we're very lucky to have, as Kieran mentioned earlier, a partnership with the JCR, which they're based in Trinity Hall, which is the first year accommodation. So we're partnered with them and their welfare team. So they'll be kind of advertising us and we'll be advertising them on social media. And they also have t-shirts with their sponsorship on it. And we're also hoping to be there in person with a stand at both the Freshers Week, if it happens in person. We're still a bit unclear on that, and in halls as well. Just to kind of make that first point of contact with the first years. And as Kieran said, our beta testers are going to be this organization that runs in halls. So they are newly finished first year, just going into second year now, students who will be testing it. So we feel they're going to have the most impact in terms of feedback on our next iteration. So yeah, we're really kind of working on that in-person presence as much as possible with COVID restrictions.
Thank you, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Our fourth pitch of the day is from Fonz Music, and Fonz Music are one of the teams that for most of the programme were collaborating from different sides of the Atlantic. Over to Fonz Music.
You're at your friend's house before a night out. There's about 8 of you, all switching between chatting and playing Kings. However, you want to get your party on. Or maybe you're at an afters, having deep, meaningful conversations with your mates. However, the host is still playing the same dance music from a few hours earlier. You gotta do something. In either case, she who controls the music controls the vibe. There are numerous academic papers demonstrating music's ability to transform a person's mood. Why leave that mood up to one person, the host? Fonz Music grants everyone the opportunity to contribute to the social soundtrack, allowing the people to determine what they're in the mood for. A guest, whether it's their first or 50th time Fonzing a song, has the same workflow. They simply tap their phone to a Fonz coaster to join the session. From there, they can see the active song, there's no need to Shazam it, as well as add a song to the host's Spotify queue, just like a jukebox. No app download, no sign-in, nothing. Although being born and raised in the COVID era, Fonz Music already has almost 1,000 app downloads and has made over €4,000 in sales. We've built our own website with Stripe checkout and have been proud members of the Launchbox Accelerator here at Tangent.
Previously, we were charging €22 per coaster, and we've decided to change our pricing from €18 to appeal to a younger demographic. Our manufacturing, packaging and distribution costs add up to €5 and have the opportunity to reduce drastically with economies of scale. We haven't run a proper marketing campaign to date. We've allocated €5 per coaster for our upcoming marketing strategy. With these anticipated costs, our profit margin is still a whopping 44% when we sell at €18. We will continue selling physical products into the future, with Fonz accessories planned for our next batch. We want to optimize our product for different venues, expanding from B2C to B2B in phase 2. We aim to stock taxis, bars, pubs and nightclubs with Fonz devices and allow the venues to monetize their queue. Although still in the works, we will either charge for every song queued like a jukebox and implement pay to skip the queue. We've quickly realised people want to hear their music and they want to hear it now. Leaning into what our users want, our third phase of Fonz will involve Fonz Premium Membership. This will be a monthly and yearly subscription that will give premium features to our paying members. We don't have concrete features set in stone, although we're sure they'll all revolve around making it easier for users to share music.
Although Spotify is our best friend, they do offer a similar feature that tries to solve the same problem we do. However, Fonz Music is better for 3 major reasons. The first reason is that creating a Fonz session is one and done. When a host connects to a Fonz coaster, they're connected for good. With Spotify's new feature, the host has to create a new session every single time. No quick song queue for the journey to college or dropping in for a cup of tea. The second reason is that unlike Spotify's new feature, with Fonz Music, only the host needs Spotify Premium. I have plenty of friends with Apple Music, YouTube Music, or Spotify Free, so they have nothing to worry about with Fonz. The third reason is our physical product. You could be at a party where your friends are using Spotify's feature and you would have absolutely no idea. However, if you see your friends walking up and tapping their phones to a unique looking orange coaster, you're going to start asking questions. Our physical product allows for organic growth as well as convenience. No app download is necessary when they tap the coaster. Our team consists of Ben, Dermot, Jay, and myself. Ben has created over €30,000 with a past business mask. Likewise, Dermot has generated over €20,000 with online businesses. Although no online businesses to my name, I've spent 2 years working at a Boston startup, working closely with my mentor Peter, who has over 25 years of entrepreneurial experience. Best of all, we're all developers, so our tech has been developed completely in-house, allowing us to bootstrap this entire process. Our go-to-market strategy is straightforward, attacking the Spotify-infected country of Ireland first. After successfully conquering Irish students, we'll move over to our neighbours in the UK. If all goes well, we'll have the opportunity to add Apple Music as one of our listed providers before going stateside. We are confident that right now is the ideal time for Fonz Music to sprout. NFC capabilities are only beginning to reach their potential. iOS and Android has allowed mini apps, so users don't need to download entire apps for one feature. Most importantly of all, the last time we had a global pandemic of this scale was the Spanish flu. The decade after that was known as the Roaring Twenties for a very good reason. Partying, dancing, and music were the trends of that decade. We envision this upcoming 20s to be cut from the same cloth, with Fonz Music allowing the people to dictate the vibe of their gatherings. Cheers, and happy days.
Thanks so much, guys. Questions from our judges for Fonz Music?
So maybe I'll go first. I love that the Roaring Twenties is coming back, or the Roaring 30s. I'm well into that. Nice presentation. €18 for the host. The host has to pay €18 and then everybody else gets it for free at a particular gathering. Is that right, revenue-wise?
Yeah.
Okay, so in similar terms, if a taxi owner or a club owner or somebody else wants to do it, you're assuming at small scale also kind of in the same price range?
Most likely we haven't kind of defined that out, especially when we go more business to business. It could be more of a subscription model where they're allowed to kind of monetize their queue. And so they give us a flat fee and then they can kind of dictate how much it costs to queue a song or to skip a song.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
B2B is going to be very different for us. We're going to do different products. We've recently just bought a 3D printer. So there's a lot of stuff going on here for B2B, but for the moment, we're all B2C.
Okay. So I guess the question at the end of it all, it just feels like for the first adoption, €18 seems a little high for somebody to go to the trouble. Particularly, for a private event or for just an ad hoc party at the end of the night. What sort of feedback have you had on your pricing?
Yeah, I think so. Originally, our pricing was about €22 or $25, and that kind of was a bit of a consensus, and so that's why we're reducing it to the €18 to again kind of promote it and see and potentially drop our price again. We're actually about to launch Fonz 2.0, and with that, we'll have a sale to probably closer to €10-15. So for us, we know our costs are very low, so we have a lot of space to drop our price. We just want to find that perfect price, and we're going to slowly but surely reduce it until we find that perfect price.
Can I jump in on that? What you guys should love with having a physical hardware product? Like, I like the software backend idea of this, but like just like having ran a hardware startup myself, right? The biggest issue is that this takes you maybe a week to get to where it needs to be, right? So I need to be thinking a week ahead, and I want to be able to do this instantly. Like when I'm throwing a party tonight, I want to be able to use fonts, right? And I'm either losing my coaster. Why don't you use software like QR codes or like sharing a link in WhatsApp groups and stuff like that so people can edit?
For a few reasons. One, there's already kind of existing solutions like that, but again, you could be at a party and you'd have no idea. So the fact that it's physical and you can see it's convenient, as well as it reminds you to properly use the product. And so to join a session, even with Spotify's new feature, is the host has to generate a session every time, and then they have to send it to their respective friends. With a coaster, is once you're set up, at any point in time, you can connect to it and then cue a song.
Okay. And then also the other question that I had is, do I need to if I'm an iPhone user, do I need to download an app to be able to use the thing or no?
If you're a guest, no. So again, we're kind of optimized for first-time users. So for iOS as well as Android, you don't need the app to queue a song. There's app clips for iOS, and there's Android instant apps. So anyone can queue a song without the app.
Okay, great, thank you.
Hi guys, thanks very much for that. I really enjoyed your presentation. On the financials, I'm wondering if for you guys it would be worthwhile considering lowering your cost per product, but having a small monthly reoccurring membership fee for anyone who uses it. From a cash flow perspective, with a product-based business, you may take solace in having monthly reoccurring revenue over once-off ad hoc purchases. I also noticed on your financials, you don't have your salaries or your headcount salary included. So I'm wondering if you were to work those in as a long-term sustainable business, would the price point of €18 still be sufficient?
I would think so. It would definitely depend on volume, so how many coasters we are selling. But right now we get each coaster for about $1 or €1 each, and that's
okay.
We only place 1,000. We had the molding fee, as well as since it's a smaller order, it's going to be more expensive. So in terms of economies of scale, we can get our coasters and packaging to probably about €1 or $1.50 for everything before shipping. And so in terms of adding, we have a lot of kind of leeway when we hit economies of scale to pay.
Mm-hmm. Great. And I know Alison has the hand up, but I might ask one quick more question. What's your route to market into the UK?
Into the UK or into Ireland?
Both.
So actually, we have a meeting also with the JCR tomorrow. So we're kind of thinking of just getting product out there. And so for the first kind of Ireland, we want to just get as many people using it and then convert guests into hosts per se. And so we have a meeting with JCR tomorrow, and we're kind of looking to go to all the uni nests and staff all of those dorms or the rooms with coasters.
Great. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Fonz Music. Well done. Next up, we have Charlie and John, co-founders of Park Turtle and winners of the Trinity Entrepreneurial Society's Dragon Den competition earlier this year. Over to Park Turtle.
Hello and welcome to Park Turtle. Park Turtle is a revenue-generating online platform that has revolutionized how yacht clubs and marinas manage their boat parking and storage, increasing their revenues by over 50%. Park Turtle was inspired by the frustration and the amount of time spent by staff on trying to manage their boat parking. There is no transparency or visibility as to who's paid and who hasn't, so we created Park Turtle. Park Turtle provides a mobile phone scanning system that enables yacht clubs and marinas to manage their boat parking and seasonal fees, eliminating the use of pens, paper and Excel. Storage space is a premium, and clubs need visibility on who's paid and how many boats they are storing to maximise their revenue. The Turtle team comprises of 2 engineers, our CTO John Chambers and myself, Charlie Cullen, the CEO. We are active sailors and boat users and want to solve a recurring problem found in boat clubs and storage locations. Clubs are forced to create their own methods to see who is paid and who hasn't. These methods involve traditional pens, paper and Excel. As a result, there's a huge percentage of payments that are not received. Finding non-payers is manual and time-consuming, resulting in high admin and labour costs. In turn, clubs have very limited visibility to easily see this information. While working with the Royal St George Yacht Club and Howth Yacht Club, we have found that over 50% of payments are never received. We also found that if clubs have high compliance of payments, they would have high admin and labour costs, and vice versa. So, staff simply scan the QR code. Once scanned, they can view the owner's contact details and payment history. This data is then uploaded to the visual dashboard. From the dashboard, the club has full visibility as to who's paid and how many boats are on the platform. They have the ability to send various automatic emails to owners, further reducing admin time. From the dashboard, the club can run a range of reports from weekly to monthly revenues to location capacity, so they can see what's working and what's not. We provide an online booking and payment system, meaning the club can prepare for the next season ahead. We also provide a contactless scanning system that enables clubs and marinas to easily track boats. The online payment system is managed through a third party, Stripe, so boat owners can pay through the website or by scanning their boat's QR code. The QR codes are only ever applied once, eliminating seasonal sticker printing, and the online dashboard gives the club complete visibility and full control. In summary, Park Turtle shows clubs who's paid, how much free space they have, and how much parking revenue they have generated, and any necessary contact information of the users. As a result of these great improvements, our results show clients of Park Turtle have experienced a financial benefit of greater than 50%, with a major decrease in admin time. There are other solutions out there, but these solutions are outdated, extremely expensive and not user-friendly, meaning smaller marinas and clubs aren't being catered for. So we have found that in this multi-billion-dollar sector, there are well over 1,100 boat clubs in the UK and Ireland alone, with more than 22,000 boat clubs globally, catering for millions and millions of dinghies. We have also found that there's over 45,000 marinas globally, with 15,000 marinas in Europe alone, catering for over 8 million registered European vessels. Park Turtle has 2 streams of revenue. We take a $35 monthly retainer from each user, and also a 3.5% transaction fee on all processed payments. As of now, we are fully functional in 2 clubs, and have processed over €270,000. By next month, we'll reach our €300,000 milestone, and we have a revenue of over €15,000 and a gross margin of greater than 90%, which is extremely high. Park Turtle is a unique business as we have recurring revenue, and from working alongside the clubs that use Park Turtle, they say there is no way they'll turn back. From our timeline, you can see we have gone from strength to strength, from winning Trinity College's Dragon's Den and having Howth Yacht Club joining the team, to being featured in a Float magazine and the Irish Times. Now we are looking forward to the next season, from which we can confirm new enthusiastic customers in Italy and other clubs in Ireland will be joining Park Turtle. We will have the possibility of Waterways Ireland to test Park Turtle in the coming months. We would like to thank our mentors Brian O'Mahony and Pierce Dargan for their continued guidance and support. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you. Questions for John and Charlie?
Hi guys, I can go first. Great presentation, great market. Well done. Really nice idea. I have a couple of questions. I'll start with, how did you arrive at a 90% gross margin? Like, what numbers are you taking into consideration there?
With the 90% gross margin, well, we're not taking our salaries into account. Charlie's in college and I'm working on this as a side project. It's been completely bootstrapped. And it really is just the cost of printing a QR code on paper, and our servers cost less than 35 euros a month. So yeah, that they're pretty much all the overheads, about 35 euro.
Great, thank you. And how did you guys arrive at the 35 euro monthly recurring fee for the customers? Because to me it seems maybe a little bit low, but I'm not a sailor or yachter, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I might take this one again if that's okay. So yeah, we actually had our fees much higher at the start, while starting with the Royal St. George, but we found that even with yacht clubs that are, processing millions and have staff of 20 and 30, that, sometimes taking 100 euros a month is a lot, and they were happier with a lower monthly fee but a higher percentage commission. So really, they're using the scanning throughout the year, and maybe we're getting 300 or 400 euro off them for them having that facility throughout the year, but we're making well over 90% of all the money from the transaction fees, which we're getting from the members, so it's not costing the club.
One last very quick question just on that. Does your 3.5% transaction fee include the strike processing fee, or is that on top?
So that's on top. And so, yeah, it rounds it off to below 5% for them in total in Europe, which is nice. And effectively, like worst case, like if we did a terrible job, we're making a 5% increase for their revenue. Like we're seeing them making over 30 grand extra per year in some yacht clubs. So, I mean, we're actually, as we said, we're generating over 50% extra, so more than covers themselves. But yeah, it's under 5%, but we take 3.5%.
Great, fantastic. Thank you, guys.
So I think a direct follow on from that is, in order for you to be able to rely on the transaction fee, are your customers contractually obliged that all payments go through your system, or can they still maintain whatever previous payment systems they had?
So they're obliged in terms of, it's up to how the club want to process it. We reduce the administration for the staff at yacht clubs, so it's in their interest to use our system. So generally they just send out the emails with, here's the link to pay, and the system automatically allocates the correct spaces for the correct types of boats and stops people gaming the system for, parking a big boat in a small space or pretending they're going for a rack and leaving it on the ground. So basically, it cuts out all that pressure that was on the staff, and they can blame the system when people get allocated spaces they don't like. But yeah, they always seem to use it. They don't take payments offline unless someone walks into the office, which doesn't happen now because it's more like paying for concert tickets than, where they're actually, I think we had 177 bookings in the first half hour. So if you try pay another way, you won't get a space.
So your answer brings up another question for me. What's the expense or cost of bringing on board a new location? Because presumably you have to understand what their spaces look like. Yeah,
generally they have spaces already marked out. They might have to put numbers on them, and they might have to, put them into, our grid system for the first time. There's a little bit of hand-holding in terms of showing them how the system works. So we do, a walkthrough by video, and we give them access to videos and a certain few months of a free trial to get them started, so they don't have to get it past the committee. But usually it proves itself. It costs money to the end user, the member, and at that point the committees buy into, completely adopting the system. So it does take a few months or maybe 2 or 3 times to talk to the right people. But once they're up and running, there's not much else to it. Maybe 5-6 hours maximum.
Great, thanks.
Have you guys given any thought about expanding this into other industries, or are there any thoughts around that?
Yeah, we have. I guess that's one of our talks with the customer discovery over the last summer, is trying to find different areas. And we've had areas like in golf clubs. There's issues like with lockers and so on, and then also airplanes. There's airplane parking in smaller prepared planes. That's just a couple of ideas that we've had. And there's also, especially in the States, they have the massive storage locations for yachts. So that's also a place that we'll be looking at as well. But at the moment, we're concentrating on the dinghy yacht club side and the marina side. But yeah.
And in terms of, like, look, I understand you guys have the Royal St. George, right, and the Hove Yacht Club, and like you guys obviously come from from that space, right? How are you thinking about going for the, I don't know, a Dutch harbor in Amsterdam, right? And getting them on the platform that have never heard of you guys before?
Yeah, well, I think it's, our plan is to really focus on the sailing clubs and the people that have the same problems as ourselves. If, a lot of people that are boat users, might use boats in different places like a harbour with the barges. And we're hoping that, word spreads of how easy our solution is to use. But marinas are our secondary market. There's a big enough market in terms of dinghy fees, with being like 2.2 billion, I think it is, per annum across the world. But we don't want to focus too much on that quite yet. But we imagine they have the same problems as Waterways Ireland, and we're currently in talks with those guys here in Ireland.
Okay. On that, we're using the yacht clubs as a kind of what we've been using the yacht clubs as a learning for us for the likes of a bigger marinas and so on. And so when we move into them, we want to have the best product possible. So yeah.
So marinas might come on board naturally after we provide the dinghy solution.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we will get straight to it then. Our next team up features two Mayo men who are hoping to win today, but who are also hoping it isn't Mayo's only big win of the summer. It's Ollie and Pat from X-lite Beverages up next.
2 weeks ago, we were offered €125,000 for 10% of our business, and we said no. Why? Because we believe in our products, our vision, and our potential. So what is X-lite? X-lite is a spiked soda. This is a combination of sparkling water, natural flavorings, ethanol, and more. So where did the idea of X-lite come from? Last year, our college exchanges were cancelled because of COVID-19. So we decided to do something really interesting and transform the entire beverage industry. So listen closely and find out how. So we started off by reformulating existing products. Existing products just tasted bland or quite boring. So we just transformed this. Just try out an X-lite for yourself and find out. We also use technology to change the game. We started off by embedding QR codes into our design, where we provide saucy games, links to our store, and our social media. We also developed an online sales channel where customers can get next day delivery or a pickup option at any university around Ireland. We also make decisions purely based on data that we get from Google Analytics, Instagram Insights, and more. And most excitingly, we're the first Irish company to verify users' ID at checkout. This is a leap in social responsibility, and other companies are sure to follow. So what impact do we have in Ireland? First of all, we support jobs in several Irish businesses. We are also focused on exporting. So X-lite will strengthen Ireland's manufacturing base. Furthermore, our mission is to motivate younger students to take entrepreneurial risks. And we believe our journey will inspire Irish students to turn a small idea into a big success.
Our competitors have access to scale and capital, but are stuck in the traditional means of marketing and distribution. We leverage data, analytics, and technology to innovate engagement and order fulfillment in the industry. In May this year, we produced a test batch of 1,400 cans that sold out in less than 10 days, producing €5,000 in revenue. Analyzing the data, we received 74,000 impressions and our page got 19,000 views. 75% of these visitors were between the 18 and 24-year-old demographic, primarily from university towns such as Dublin, Limerick, and Galway, with a 50-50 male to female split. These are incredible, tangible indicators of the direction and impact our company is having on our target market. Since we started Launchbox, we've come a long way. We took on 14 interns and have been working closely with them to develop our website and create content for our social medias. Just recently, we've agreed a partnership for manufacturing with Coca-Cola HBC. Our company is incorporated, tax and VAT registered. Our IP is protected under trademark in Ireland, the UK, and Europe. We have an excise license and a warehouse registered under bond. And we've just recently been promised access to central distribution in Musgraves at the end of the year. So what is our plan? On September 6th, we're manufacturing 15,000 cans in Dundalk Brewery. On the 10th of December, we're moving on to 70,000 cans with 3 separate flavors in Bev Craft Mullingar. Once we get to Q2 2022, we're scheduled in to manufacture 300,000 cans in Coca-Cola HBC. And under the guidance of Enterprise Ireland and Food Academy, we forecasted that with a $3.50 selling price, we can develop by phase 3 a 61% margin, resulting in total revenues of 1.12 million and total gross profits of 660k. That's just 8% of White Claw's revenues in Ireland in their first year alone.
So Oliver and I have been living together for the last 3 years. We both got first class honors from Trinity Business, and now we're focused on taking X-lite to the next level over the next 4 to 5 years. We are innovative, enthusiastic, and motivated to succeed. We've been supported by an incredible team that we built up throughout the Launchbox program. This includes Kavanagh Group, Gary Lavin, Paul Duffy, and David Gluckman. However, we're also aware that we need help. We plan to hire all of our tech interns to help us with analytics and tech integration throughout the next 4 to 5 years. So in our introduction, we talked about our initial investment offer, and now we have even bigger news for everyone on the faculty and the cohort. We just accepted €450,000 investment for 20% equity, and we also have access to a 500,000 loan facility. On that note, we thank you all for listening, and we welcome any questions.
Thank you.
Questions for the Mayo Men. I should have prefaced this by saying that one of our judges is a Kerry woman. But any questions for Molly?
There's a conflict of interest there, Alison.
Great job, great presentation, guys. Congrats on the fundraising and the working capital requirements. Can I ask you guys something? What are you passionate about? Are you passionate about making cans, like drinking cans, a lot like smarter and a lot more like and getting a lot more data out of your customer? Or are you passionate about making a different type of drink?
Yeah, so man, I'll take that question. We're actually passionate about both. So when we enter this industry, we realize it's not good enough to be slightly better than the existing products. You have to be incredibly better. And we do that through number one is our taste. So our product tastes incredible, far better than any of our competitors. We've reformulated the product to ensure that it's got low calories, no sugar, while still got an amazing taste. And at the same time, we're driving home the technology. So as you said, we're going to focus on the data analytics. We're going to see what campaigns are effective, and we're going to focus on them for our marketing and for our sales. So for instance, we mentioned we're in Super Value Central Distribution next year. From our online sales, we'll be able to see who's buying our product from where and then target the stores in those areas. And that's just one example of how we're going to use the technology to drive it home. Another one is our QR code. So on our QR code, we've got games for all of our friends, and if you're at a party, you can play Never Have I Ever or Truth or Dare or something like that. And that really urges customers to engage with your brand. So the answer is it's two-pronged. We are focused on taste and we are focused on technology.
And you also in your traction slide, you said you had claimed IP on something, or you had registered IP. What have you been able to make proprietary?
Yeah, so we've got a trademark for the niche classifications of 33 and 34 in Ireland, the UK, and Europe. So that's a figurative mark on our name. That's the X and the X-lite name we've got trade protection for.
So you've patented the name X-lite.
Yeah, yes, for no, we've trademarked the name. Sorry, not patented it. We've trademarked the name. In Ireland, the UK, and that's and the EU, and that for alcohol beverages and all alcoholic beverages.
So many questions. Great presentation. Following on from the question before, you've got some potentially unique retail technology, tracking technology. Why are you not protecting that? And I guess another version of that question is, what did your investor invest in? Your ability to sell lots of beverages, or your interesting way of going to market?
I can hop in there.
I think.
Yeah, so I suppose one thing that we really come to terms with over this summer is we've spoken to a number of really interesting people. One of those being Brian Fagan, who built Glendalough Distillery and eventually sold it out for 18 million. And we were talking to him, and he said when you're speaking to
alcohol conglomerates, it's really important to prove a specific concept. So what we're able to do when we sell online and sell through our website and also through social media is we can track exactly who's coming onto our website, who's purchasing, how long they're spending on the site. So for us in particular, we'd mainly be targeting LDA, which is 18 to 24-year-olds. And then through that, we can see exactly who's coming on to our website, and then we can show that data, we can provide that data to these alcohol conglomerates. And once we prove that, we'll prove it first around Ireland, particularly in university towns, and then we'll use that to expand into the US. We're immediately talking about increasing our market significantly.
And I would say as well, our investors are also investing in us. We're very serious and move incredibly quickly. We have a plan for the next year, and we know exactly what we're going to do. And on top of that, they are investing on the technology, the beverage itself. It's a combination of everything. And in terms of protecting our website, it's definitely something we look at, and we'll need to get help for that because it is huge. Recently, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy actually purchased a company called Drizzy. And basically what they did was they sold direct to customers, and we're going to follow that exact same path. And hopefully LVMH will be looking at us very seriously in a few years' time.
So even going off that again, Stuart, I remember a couple of months ago, it was interesting to see you come onto this call. We read about Radiant Solutions, and how they pretty much pioneered web reservations in the airline industry. And we realized that in the alcohol industry, there isn't such thing as really online sales. And that's something that really interested us and intrigued us. Why aren't we the company that pioneered online sales, online web reservations in the alcohol industry? Just an industry which is just so stuck into the traditional means of marketing and distribution. We were talking to Gary Lavin as well, who's the CEO of Visit, and he made the joke that every company he talks to talks about going directly into retailers, selling in 200 stores. And he found it enlightening that we said, no, look, we're going to take a step towards technology. We're going to take a step towards building in these web reservations, building in online sales into the alcohol industry.
Hi guys, great presentation. I received your can in the mail a couple of days ago and I did try it. It's delicious. Can you tell me a little bit how you create your flavor and your drink, and if you have any plans to expand the product range?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I'd like to start off and say, if I told you how we made the product, I'd have to kill you, Caleb. It's a super secret. We're not going to file IP on that because that is just going to be a complete another Area 51 top secret. But yeah, basically it was really fun. Oliver and I, for months, did a lot of kitchen trials, trying out different flavors, different formulations. It would be similar enough to trying to bake. Someone gave you flour, eggs, butter, and you're just trying to make a fantastic cake out of it. That's exactly what we were doing in the kitchen with a lot of love and a lot of fun. So that's how we came up with their product.
And any new products in the pipeline?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so basically we're not just thinking salsa. So another way that we're doing is a different route to markets, also to bars. So currently WKD occupy 25% of that market and are essentially uncontested. So we're actually planning to enter into bars, hotels and restaurants very, very soon. And on top of that, we're also going to sell flavored spirits, so the likes of vodka. And it's important to say too, we have merchandise on our store. We're sporting our X-lite t-shirts here. We have a lot more merch coming in, some hoodies, beer pong tables and all this kind of thing. So yeah, absolutely. Our product range is going to cover a very, very, very large proportion of the market.
Well done. Next up, we have Team Feki Labs, another of our teams who, due to COVID, have spent much of the summer working together from different countries. Over to you guys, Feki Labs.
The effects of climate change are getting harder to ignore. More and more manufacturers are trying to switch to sustainable materials. Yet out of all materials, very little progress is being made with plastic, one of the chief polluters by weight. As such a ubiquitous and essential material in the modern world, sustainable plastics today are few and far between. Why is this? Well, in general, increased sustainability in a plastic correlates with a decrease in strength and durability. And in most applications, these properties simply cannot be sacrificed. You don't want to be driving down the M50 when suddenly your tires biodegrade underneath you. So we at Feki Labs are here to fill this gap, providing sustainable plastics that maintain high performance. Here at Feki Labs, we're developing Feki Plastic, a recyclable thermoplastic with a negative carbon footprint. It is a drop-in solution for manufacturers, requiring no additional infrastructure. This allows for the most efficient carbon emission reduction while delivering the same material properties as its traditional counterparts. So how is it made? We use CO2 from the air, captured either directly or through algae, and then we use a variety of chemical processes, which we intend to patent, to isolate the desired molecules and from there make our plastic. This way we are actively reducing the CO2 in the atmosphere. So while a kilogram of plastic generally adds 5 kilos of CO2 to the atmosphere, our product actively removes 3 kilos of CO2. This reduces carbon emissions by up to 160%.
Currently, the global plastic market is valued at $580 billion, with a sustainable sector responsible for $80 billion and growing at over 7% year on year. We're targeting the automotive and construction material industries, where material properties cannot be sacrificed. In terms of competition, this is how we beat them. Feki Plastic offers a negative carbon footprint, works with existing machinery, requiring no additional infrastructure, is recyclable in line with the EU vision of circular economy, and on top of that, provides the durability that our target market desires. We have two routes to market, manufacturing and licensing. From our discussion with potential customers, we found that they would be willing to pay $2,200 per ton for Feki Plastic. We're aiming to achieve a similar price, including an industry average 18% gross profit margin. The first year of Feki Labs will be a developing phase and are conservatively estimating sales of Feki Plastic to be €100,000 in year 2 and $500,000 in year 3. The licensing route involves leasing the formulation out to large chemical companies like BOSS, which is commonplace in the chemical industry.
So who are we? We are high-achieving engineering and chemistry students and friends on a mission to combat carbon emissions. As a team, we have vast experience from management consulting at McKinsey to researching sustainable concrete and weight reduction techniques for Trinity and novel organic chemistry conversions at King's College London. And despite being separated across an entire continent, we've turned what was once a faint idea into a successful startup. With the opportunities provided by Launchbox, we have had the honor of working with and learning from our expert advisors in the plastic industry and scientific research space. For example, Adam provided us with industry insights which changed our direction from a compostable seaweed-based plastic to a more drop-in carbon-negative replacement petroleum plastic. With their help, we've honed the skills to bring Feki Plastic to market successfully. We've formed a strong partnership with Bordy Scavara, have received continuous interest from research funding boards and are currently in talks with Trinity Research Institute. And through Antonia, we have secured all-access lab space at King's College London, which will allow us to start our prototype trials, taking Feki Labs to the next exciting level of development. So what's next? Next month, we start prototyping in KCL. At the same time, we will be securing corporate contracts from clients in the automotive and construction space. Based on feedback from potential customers, we will refine the Feki Plastic properties with the goal to have the initial MVP ready by February 2022. Our first trial manufacturing run is planned for September 2022, for which we will require investment of €125,000. Following this, we will seek further investment to expand production, which will gear us up to disrupt the plastic industry. We are Feki Labs, on a mission to help companies reduce their carbon emissions by providing the future of plastics. Thank you, and we welcome any questions.
So maybe I'll start off. Can you give me a man on the street sense of where your research is, how confident you are that this is going to do what you say it's going to do, and at least you'll get to the point where somebody will be interested in using it for real?
So I can answer this question. So at Feki Labs, we have combined two optimized methods. One is a two-phase AQ system while using an optimized and eco-friendly catalyst. And what is very innovative in our procedure is that we have eliminated and we don't use harsh chemicals. Now, we are sure that this is going to work 100% because we have already proven this with computational methods which mimic exactly traditional experimental methods.
And so maybe a follow-on question if nobody else is ready. You're all from various, I think, complementary technical backgrounds. Where are you building up your business development skills in terms of I'm assuming, particularly if you're going to do things like licensing, these are very long, complicated B2B type sales processes.
Yeah, I can take that question. So I'm myself and Sid are actually studying engineering with management. So it's part engineering, part business. So we do learn the business process as well. Plus, when we've been talking with Trinity Research Institute, they've offered to help us with the patent process and introducing us to potential license corporations. So they'll navigate us through that process.
Have they given any? Oh, sorry.
If I can just add on to that, last year I was working with Entrepreneurial Society at Trinity, and I was also helping other startups go through the licensing process, so I also followed that. And during this summer, I was working in Scientific Technological Park here in Belgrade, Serbia. So yeah, I was also doing the same processes with other startups, so I sort of know the process, how to go through it. Obviously, every single one is specific, and we have to focus on that, but yeah.
When you were talking with the technology office, right, Matthew, did they give any indication of how long it will take for the IP process?
So for the IP process, they said to wait until you're in King's College and you've developed the first MVP, because otherwise you can waste money patenting the non-important parts, because you only want to patent the minimum amount that you need to make your process patentable and protected. So they've told us to wait till then, so February 2022, and then they'll help us. We've already talked with the IP officer at Trinity, Graham McMullen, and yeah, he'll take it after me.
And you said in your presentation that you needed €125,000 investment, right? When is that €125,000 necessary, and would it interfere with your timeline?
So the €125,000 is to scale up development. With the money we currently have, we can create our prototype at a small scale, and then that further 125,000 is broken down into 82,000 for raw materials and production. So we're hoping to use either a contract manufacturer, depending if the licensing route occurs or not. That's not up to us. That is due to talks later on. And then incorporation costs, patent costs take up 20,000. And then to verify the carbon negative footprint, we need to go to the Carbon Trust, which we're estimating at 15,000. And then we have an 8,000 contingency budget of around 10%.
Okay, but this could all fall apart potentially if the MVP turns out that it actually doesn't work. That's correct, right?
Could you repeat that?
As Antonia mentioned before, sorry Matthew to interrupt, she already did all the testing and computational methods, so we are quite sure it is going to be. We are going to be able to prove it in real life.
Okay.
But obviously, in order to patent something, you have to prove it, and you have to have the real product in your hand to show it that it is working. So yes, there are really, really, really high chances that we're going to be able to prove it by February.
Yes, we're 100% sure this is gonna work, because computational methods, as I said before, they mimic exactly traditional experimental methods. So we have no problem with that.
Thank you so much for your presentation, guys. I wanted to ask, what's the long-term goal for you?
So the goal of the company, in essence, is to help companies reduce their carbon emissions. So overall, the company is called Feki Labs. Under Feki Labs, there will be multiple products. Currently, we are solely focusing on plastic, as that's where we see a huge carbon emission problem. But potentially down the road, once Feki plastic has taken off, then we can look into other areas to explore to help companies reduce carbon emissions in other areas.
Great. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Well done. Well, from sustainability and alternatives to plastics on to medtech solutions, we have QRX who are up next with their pitch.
In the summer of 2019, a friend of mine was admitted to the hospital for a tonsillectomy where he was given opioids for pain management. A few days later, after discharge, his local GP, unaware of course, prescribed him more opioids, the resultant effect potentially leading to addiction or, worst case scenario, his death. Unfortunately, this is just one of 3 million medication errors made annually in Ireland alone. According to the WHO, unsafe medication practices and errors are the leading cause of avoidable harm in healthcare systems across the world, with associated costs estimated at $42 billion annually. This is no surprise considering the current infrastructure or lack thereof in current healthcare systems. 1 in 3 hospitals in Ireland do not have a medication safety strategy in place. These medication errors are also met with non-compliance on the patient side. Now, in an ideal world, there would be little to no errors, validated dispensing records, and optimal compliance levels, and that's why we've built QRX, an end-to-end SaaS solution with focus on optimizing prescription management for healthcare providers and patients whilst improving patient compliance. Now, applying QRX to the scenario described at the beginning, the patient has the prescription written and sent by the doctor to the patient, where it's stored on their digital prescription wallet on their phone. The script is then sent to pharmacy of choice to be prepared ahead of time, and when ready, the patient is notified for collection. When collecting, the patient scans a unique QR code attached to the prescription which confirms receipts, syncs their phone with tailor-made reminders and notifications, and most importantly, checking for interactions with previous prescriptions. There's an easy-to-use messaging service system to allow for fluid communication between healthcare providers. Overall, QRX reduces administrative tasks, organizes the workflow, and maximizes efficiency for our healthcare providers. This is true and consistent to our values and mission of quality healthcare and patient empowerment by education.
As of April last year, Irish legislation changed, allowing for the transfer of prescription electronically within the secure network. This was catalyzed by COVID, increased the importance of reducing contact time with other people as much as possible. In addition, the next major advancement in medical record management will be the perfectly auditable, traceable, and tamper-proof system, and blockchain is the vehicle to do so. We have developed our own smart contract, which allows us to interact with the blockchain in ways which suit both the business and the patient. This is just one of the few ways healthcare is beginning to leverage digital solutions. Our target market are healthcare institutions and their insurance providers. Our primary users will be retail pharmacy businesses, GPs, and hospitals. And the Irish market is primed for solutions of this sort, with 1,800 operating pharmacies accumulating up to 2 million visits a month. There are over 100,000 GPs in our service obtainable market alone and up to 1.5 million pharmacies worldwide. Looking at our Estonian counterparts, 99% of their prescriptions are stored and maintained via blockchain. They have seen benefits of this in the form of saving, enhanced healthcare quality, and 27% reduction in medical errors since 2019.
We operate on a subscription model basis with various packages to accommodate for small to medium chains, practices, or consortiums and health insurance companies. With health insurance companies bearing the brunt of the costs associated with these areas, they are valuable customers that provide a channel of distribution to the healthcare providers they insure. The likes of Leia Healthcare, part of AIG with 90 million customers in 100 countries, with whom we've had a warm intro with thanks to Launchbox. In comparison to our competitors, QRX provides a flexible, scalable, and easily integrated solution for healthcare providers and patients. Current competitors still leave the patient at the expense of the providers, as well as a disconnect in communication between said providers. With QRX, we are focused on patient-centered care, putting their healthcare back in their own hands. Since the initial ideation of QRX, we've been heavily involved in the events and opportunities Testing Tangent have to offer. We have recently completed the Blackstone Launchpad Fellowship, where we received funding and mentorship. In December last year, we completed the development of our MVP, which we've been fine-tuning during Launchbox alongside superintendent pharmacists and consultants. Not only have we developed a rapport with our users, we've established valuable partnerships with disruptors and trailblazers in the digital healthcare space.
Looking towards our future roadmap, we plan on continuing with testing with our customers, leading us up to our fundraising Q2 of next year to fund our data impact assessment and private beta. Our goals for the beta include acquiring 20 pharmacies, 6 of which have already been in contact with and carried out numerous successful demos and tests, and 9 of which we've been introduced to by virtue of our Launchbox mentor. This is our team. With backgrounds in pharmacy, software development, sales, and blockchain, I believe we're the right team to bring such products to market. Giving more than a helping hand, our amazing advisors providing invaluable experience in running successful pharmacy businesses, investment in software businesses spanning various end markets, including healthcare, cybersecurity, and infrastructure software. With our team and leadership working in tandem towards our goal, I believe that QRX can and will make prescriptions safe, simple, and secure. Thank you for listening and looking forward to your questions.
Thanks, guys. Over to our judges.
So maybe I'll grab the mic first. great presentation. A little bit fast, so my old tired eyes didn't catch it all. But I guess I'm assuming one of the challenges for what you're doing is you need universal adoption. Everybody in the value chain of providing pharmaceuticals and checking on those has to adopt your product in order for it to work, or is my assumption wrong?
Yes, your assumption's correct. But that problem's addressed by like the value prop for each provider, and by virtue of our APIs that like can be integrated with already existing software. So like pharmacies would use dispensing software, and prescription initiators would use practice software. So like the likes of Socrates and whatnot. And QRX isn't designed to usurp or like, replace these softwares, but it's like a tool to augment these already existing software. And with the value props of reduced admin costs, reduction in medication errors, simplified medicines reconciliation, it's something that has proven a pain point for the healthcare providers that we've spoken to and working alongside of. The provision of the app is also free for the patient, and we plan on leveraging that for like, adoption on the healthcare providers facing side. So like the patient goes in because it's more than convenient for them to have their prescription on their phone as opposed to like paper, same way they'd have like their bank cards or boarding passes for flights, and using that also as a marketing strategy to onboard healthcare providers, as well as our like overall go-to-market strategy, which involves targeting specific areas. So like taking the likes of the Ranelagh area, for example, within the Ranelagh Road alone, there are like 3 pharmacies and like more than 5 neighboring clinics, and that targeted approach of like the neighboring clinics to the pharmacies already that are in close proximity. That's how we plan on addressing that challenge.
So just hopefully a very quick answer to the next one, because I want the other people to be able to speak, is so if you're going to integrate with existing systems, is it your job to code in order to access their public APIs, or is it somebody's job to get their systems to talk to you?
I might handle this one. So the vision is that we actually provide our own API, and different kind of existing solutions would be able to integrate with our existing APIs, but we'd be providing those APIs in order to communicate with those systems.
Okay, great, thanks.
I'll go next if that's okay. I might have missed it in the presentation. Who pays for this? Is it the pharmacy who pays for it? Is it the doctor who pays for it? Who?
So there are different pricing models, but overall the customers are the healthcare providers, or a more B2B play on a larger scale would be like health insurance companies and the subsequent healthcare providers that they insure. So there are 3 parties: the prescription initiator, so that could be the GP,
the doctor,
or anybody with prescribing power, even like a nurse with prescribing power. They're charged no subscription fee, but a transactional fee per prescription they write. So like doctors will charge anywhere between 20 to 40 euros to rewrite a prescription, and we get 3% off. And initially we had a subscription fee for them, but through customer discovery, discovered that they'd rather the transactional fee. The pharmacies would also pay a subscription themselves as well.
Yeah, because it's hard to charge in this space, right? So I know a little bit about it because my mom is a GP, and when my mom writes a prescription, right, she doesn't have to pay a fee, right, to write the prescription, like, or anything like that. She just gives the prescription to the patient purchased the medication, and now she suddenly is going to have to pay, right, for writing a prescription. So it makes sense. It's a really hard thing to solve, but good job so far on the presentation.
Just to add to that, with QRX, the doctor isn't actually paying to write the prescription, and like in the cases where doctors are rewriting prescriptions, initially there has to be a consultation for which is paid for, and that encompasses the first writing of the script. Then further scripts, because some items can be repeated, would be written for free in the case of like the case that you described where your mom doesn't charge for prescriptions, but like initially for consultations, doctors would charge and GPs.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And is the pharmacy gonna pay anything or no?
Yes, the pharmacy pays a subscription fee, of $1,200 a month if it's a single pharmacy, and then there's small to medium chains of like 10 pharmacies or more, like the likes of Boots with 81 pharmacies, and that revenue model was generated from like the time spent on admin costs, even just claims alone, or the reduction in time spent for reporting medication errors.
Okay, Michaela, go ahead.
Thanks, Manu, and thanks, guys, for your presentation. Real problem, big market, a lot of people trying to solve this kind of human error or error with prescriptions. My question for you guys is, what do you think your biggest roadblock is going to be? What's the biggest obstacle in your course to success?
Just from Ireland standpoint, so prescriptions were only legally valid electronically last year, and that was because of a pandemic. That's what catalyzed that push. But like that would be the biggest barrier to adoption from an Irish-facing side. But looking to other markets within Europe and outside of Europe, the biggest roadblock to adoption would be like, and like Stuart mentioned, the whole like having the three parties, involved in the chain, the solution workflow, but said tactics or routes to overcome those problems I've addressed.
Great. So you think it's the digitalization of the healthcare industry overall that's going to be necessary for you guys to ride that wave to success?
As far as Ireland is concerned, like it's a pretty big thing in Europe. Like we mentioned in the taking like Estonia, not even England, Estonia, they have 99% of their prescriptions stored via blockchain since 2017, and they've seen the benefits for it. So it is already a wave that exists. It's just slotting right into that wave.
Little in Ireland right now.
Yeah.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done, guys. Our penultimate pitch today is focused on the circular economy. Welcome to Ellen, Ellie, Anna, and Meredith, who together are Team Refunk.
In a recent report, the IPCC outlined that a huge reduction in carbon dioxide emissions is critical to limit global warming. As climate change becomes an undeniable threat to our future, consumers are looking for more circular and sustainable choices. 10 million tonnes of furniture is discarded annually in the EU, with each piece of furniture generating 26 kgs of carbon dioxide equivalents. The environmental impact of this sector is immense. Our initial survey showed that 79% of consumers wanted to buy sustainable furniture, but didn't know where to source it. Refunk is a one-stop furniture upcycling solution that facilitates the 3 stages of the upcycling process. So how does Refunk work? We provide a sustainable solution for furniture disposal by collecting unwanted pieces from our donators and listing them on our platform. The pieces are then matched with a local upcycler who repairs and upcycles the piece within the Refunk design guidelines. Not only do we solve the upcycler's problem of sourcing furniture, but we also provide them with an engaged community of sustainably minded consumers who are looking to buy one-of-a-kind pieces.
We worked with Bounce Insights to survey 150 of our target end buyers, which revealed that 85% would use Refunk to buy furniture. 67% said that in-person viewing would increase their level of trust in purchasing second-hand furniture, informing our decision to have a physical Refunk space. The projected value of the furniture resale market is $16.6 billion by 2025. The timing for Refunk is optimal, as there is an urgent need for sustainable disposal options. Platforms that enable the circular fashion economy, such as Launchbox alum New Wardrobe and Depop, have seen huge success. 2 of our team members did their dissertations on upcycler and consumer behaviours. Anna studied the impact of COVID-19 on consumer engagement with the circular economy and concluded that the pandemic caused consumers to behave more sustainably. Ellen examined the return to craft and find that upcyclers struggle to find a platform and consumer base. Within our current business model, 50% of the final sales price goes to the upcycler, while Refunk gets 50% for sourcing and selling the piece. Refunk has contributed to both waste reduction and job creation. So far, we have received 86 pieces of wooden furniture, saving the equivalent of 2,236 kilograms of CO2. Refunk aims to create and support a community of upcyclers. Refunk has provided additional earning opportunities to 60 upcyclers to date.
So, what makes us unique? We're a circular one-stop shop, unlike our competitors, for the supply, upcycling and selling of sustainable furniture. We have created an online community of over 1,800 members, including 60 upcyclers. We've made 6 sales and are building up a supply of finished pieces for the launch of our online marketplace in mid-September, and have 20 open projects with a showcase value of around €4,000. Since May, we have had a fruitful partnership with Go-Kart, who, wanting to support our sustainable mission, have offered us free use of their vans for our deliveries. Whilst we're a platform-first business, our market research has highlighted the need for a physical Refunk location. This will act as a showroom, an upcycling workshop, and a community space. The hybrid of physical and digital will enhance the experience of both the customer and the upcycler, which will help us scale up donations and sales. Whilst we're proving out the idea in the Greater Dublin area, we believe that Refunk will thrive in creative cities such as London or New York. In New York in particular, the regularity of unfurnished rentals leads to a culture of owning furniture from a younger age. With our New York-based mentor, Joy Fairbanks, founder of Fairbanks Venture Advisors, we've been discussing Refunk's potential to solve the city's colossal waste issue.
In 3 months, we've made 6 sales, all through Instagram, equating to a total value of €1,660. Once we have our website up and running, we expect sales to grow by 500% each quarter until the end of the year. In the second year, we plan to scale into New York, doubling revenue in both year 2 and year 3. For our plan to scale and prove out our enterprise in Dublin over the next 12 months, we are looking for €100,000 investment. This will cover rent, deliveries, salaries, among other costs. Our team met this year during our Marketing Masters, but offer a variety of educational and professional backgrounds. Meredith, our creative CMO, studied law at Oxford. As the CFO, I studied commerce and German at UCD and have 2 years of financial consulting experience. Ellen has a BA in European Studies from Trinity and uses her experience from the IBEC grad program in America in her role as the CCO. Ellie is the COO and sustainability lead due to her experience in sustainably positioned companies. Refunk, the one-stop upcycling shop. Thank you for listening, and we welcome any questions.
Thank you so much. Over to our judges for some questions, please.
Very, sorry, Michaela, go ahead. Apologies.
No, you're fine. You go first.
Very energetic pitch. Well done. My one question that I have is around scaling, and how are you thinking about scaling this? Just talk to me about that.
Hi, yeah, I can take this. So at the moment in Dublin, the physical space is quite important for scaling. We essentially have a lot of upcyclers and a lot of donations that can be connected, but without a sort of layover space where the furniture can rest whilst upcyclers have time to come and do it is the main issue at the moment, especially as a lot of creatives don't have space in their house to hold furniture for a long time. But then in regards to sort of scaling into bigger cities such as New York, that would be when we would really sort of intend to get the sort of critical mass. We've been talking to our mentor, Joy Fairbanks, who is quite keen for us to sort of get our feet on the ground in New York and start sort of building plans there. She works closely with someone who used to be the head of sanitation for New York, and their budget for waste disposal is about 400 million a year. And so more sustainable options for that kind of sort of colossal scale of waste disposal would be something we would tap into, and potentially something you could even work alongside governments for to do, get access to those funds and offer more sustainable disposal solutions.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're basically creating a space where these upcyclers can come, and you're creating a community where donations are being done in, and that's how you can scale. So you don't need okay. That makes sense. How do you think most people find out about you right now?
At the moment, the sort of upcycler community in Ireland is sort of very closely connected. Once you talk to a few upcyclers, they often have a load of friends who are sort of sustainably minded. There's a massive Instagram community. We've chatted to other sort of Instagram-based sustainable people who will give us shout outs and promotions and stuff like that. And that is how we get a lot of people. So essentially word of mouth and digital word of mouth from a very strong sustainable community.
Thanks, ladies. That was a really great pitch. So I have a couple of questions for you. So I understand the donation and then sell on. I'm wondering how you plan to scale that with your digital platform, but I'm also wondering if there's other kind of routes to markets or other revenue models you're considering in terms of branching out from just
yeah, sorry, I can take this again. So the physical space is sort of necessary, as I said, for the reasons before, but it is a platform first business. Our initial model is where people can and have the space and facilities to do so. We are hands off with the matching between the donations and the upcycling. So the donations get listed and then upcyclers can browse the donations and then take them themselves. We have explored different options with how we'll achieve scale with that. And one avenue we've been exploring is sort of Refunk for businesses. So either getting in touch with businesses that are doing renovations or clear outs and getting access to sort of mass donations at any given time, which has been something we've kind of dabbled in with Trinity because of the rubrics building being cleared out. We've had access to lots and lots of pieces. And then as well as companies more and more want to furnish their spaces with sustainable furniture as well, we would look into providing possibilities of doing, again, sort of mass furnishings where you would commission a big set of furniture and then we would sort that for you. And then commissions as well on a personal scale is something we've been looking into as well, which would probably be priced up as well.
Great, thank you so much.
So great presentation. I was glad you all appeared in the same room at the end because clearly that was where that was going. So excellent. I feel completely closure on that point. I'm curious about the revenue share with the upcyclers. You talked about it being sort of 50-50. I mean, I recently had experience of consignment furniture over here, consignment stores in the US, where the furniture is just ready to go. There isn't any need for an upcycler. And I'm just wondering, is that relationship potentially and the revenue share potentially a little more complicated based on what you receive in terms of pieces in the first place?
Yeah, so I can take this. So initially, just to talk through kind of our rationale for the business model, initially we had thought that we would give the donator a certain percentage and then the upcycler would have taken the biggest amount. It was 70% to begin with, and then us as Refunk would take 20. But we sort of realized as we continued that it wasn't as hands-off as we would have expected, and we were doing a lot of the deliveries and the matching up, which was taking a lot of work. So then on top of that, the donator, we realized also didn't really care that much about getting money from it. They just sort of had this piece of furniture that they simply wanted to get rid of. So we decided that they didn't really need to take a cut. And then on the basis of the fact that we were doing more work, we decided to just go 50-50 between ourselves and the upcycler.
And I think as well, the value that we provide the upcycler, a lot of our upcyclers are maybe retired women or people who do this as kind of a side hustle. So a lot of them don't have a big platform and they don't really have the means of like constantly looking and scrolling through adverts or done deal to find furniture to upcycle. So, you know, we post it on our stories. It's as simple as they message us saying, yes, I'll take that piece. And then we sell it for them again. So they don't have to worry about finding a platform there to sell it to.
So Alison has put her hand up, but maybe I can ask kind of just a quick follow-on question because the others have done the same thing. I'm going to do it anyway. You know I am. So am I right in thinking that the upcycling process is not necessarily just bringing it back to usability, but it's more about being creative and giving the piece a new / different life?
Yeah, so it's very much what we kind of the value that we offer our end buyer then is that you're really buying this one of a kind, like crafted piece. So, you know, some of the pictures that we had throughout our slides, like we have a set of 6 chairs that were each painted a different color, but like still are uniform. So like, you know, something like that in your house like is a real talking point, and like it's unique, and that's really going to stand out. So I think as well that's probably going to help hopefully with our branding and our marketing, and that like our pieces are really stand out, one of a kind pieces, you know, stuff that people are going to be like, oh, where did you get that from? So yeah.
So just as one audience member that didn't quite come across in your presentation, okay. I would sell that a lot more.
Thank you very much. Well done. And finally, last but of course not least, we have Team Field of Vision up, who are our final pitch of the day.
Hello, my name is David Denneher, and I'm a co-founder at Field of Vision. To begin, I'd like to ask everyone watching to close their eyes and listen to this commentary. This is how 100 million visually impaired football fans worldwide experience live football. Audio-descriptive headsets are becoming more common in stadiums across Europe, but after speaking with visually impaired fans, we learned that commentary, no matter how detailed, struggles to capture the intensity and the excitement of a live game. This is a viral video that inspired our journey. It is one of many viral videos of a man bringing his son to a game and tracing the position of the ball on a small board. But not everyone has a friend as great as this. This is why we started Field of Vision. We have built a device for the people who don't have anyone to do this for them. We use artificial intelligence and computer vision to extract all the important information from the game in real time using camera feeds. We feed this information back to our device, which moves a magnetic finger piece on the top of it, which mirrors the exact movements of the ball across the pitch. The blind person holds a device and places their palm on it. Several motors vibrate to communicate which team has possession and when shots, passes and tackles occur, filling in the gaps left by audio-descriptive commentary. For the first time, users of our product will be able to feel the swerve on a free kick or the power of a shot. Visually impaired people take up a perhaps surprisingly large portion of football fans, with there being over 800,000 in the UK alone. For a stadium of 40,000 capacity, such as the Emirates Arsenal Stadium, there are 90 visually impaired season ticket holders, and 43% of visually impaired people are sports fans. At full launch, we will have 2 revenue streams, the first of which is direct product sales to clubs. Our match visualization devices will be sold with a relatively low profit margin to capture customers, and we'll then be charging an annual subscription for our artificial intelligence match delivery software at a much higher profit margin. This cost will be based on the capacity of the stadium. Clubs and event organisers are continuously looking for the next big innovation to make their games accessible to their entire fan base. We deliver this to them. There's also strong marketing and PR potential for the clubs using our product. We have raised money through many accelerators and competitions, including Alcessor, Engineers Ireland and Enterprise Ireland, recently winning the Student Entrepreneur of the Year award. We have a fully manufactured MVP with accompanying computer vision model and companion app. We recently started a pilot programme with one of the largest football clubs in Ireland, Bohemians, and we have begun testing our device there in their stadium, Dalymount Park. Several Premier League clubs and the Irish national team have shown considerable interest in purchasing our technology after this pilot. After our success in Bohemians this summer, we will begin our first paid games in the Premier League in time for the 2021 season. This is to prepare for our short-term goal of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. After this, we will be expanding into other sports and releasing a consumer product for use by the millions of visually impaired fans who watch games at home. We're also working on a new artificial intelligence method to track 3D ball position using a single high-quality camera. This will give us a very unique sell point in being able to offer our services by using existing broadcast cameras without any of the setup costs. In preparation for when this second iteration is ready, we have developed a partnership with BN Media Group, the largest sports broadcaster in the MENA region. We met with them in Qatar and we're interested in using their further reach in Europe, Asia and North America to expand our market. There are a few companies backed by big names such as Santander working on similar solutions, but they have no AI-powered computer vision model, meaning they can't scale and cover hundreds of live matches playing simultaneously worldwide. We're also the only product that is fully wireless and portable. We, as a co-founding team, are lifelong school friends and we have years of experience working together on projects. Tim's the computer vision genius, I'm the coder and designer, and Omar is the engineer and the CEO. We've also got some key players in the sports industry backing us up as long-term mentors. Lise Kosimi is an expert in the sports broadcasting industry, and Tom Sears is the former CEO of Connacht Rugby and has been at the top of many sports organisations in the UK and Ireland for over 20 years. With our degrees in computer science, business and engineering, along with our close friendship, we're confident that we can deliver a product that can make a positive impact to the sporting world. Stadiums who use our technology will be leaders in innovation for inclusivity, and they'll be fully opening up the game to a whole group of people that has not previously experienced it. We love to watch sports, and we struggle to imagine a life without watching our favourite teams play week in and week out. This drives us in our mission to make football accessible to every blind fan worldwide. If you want to join us in our mission, please get in touch for a further meeting using the contact info available on the slide. Thank you for listening.
And over to our judges.
Thanks, guys, for that presentation. I have a question for you. I know you said that long term you hope to integrate into the existing camera systems in the stadiums, but I'm just wondering what the setup cost is when you don't have that computer vision infrastructure there.
Hey, I'll take that question. It's about each camera that we're currently using, because we have computers installed on them to make the entire processing quicker, is about 400 per camera, so 1,600 per stadium, and then you can add a couple hundred if we're hiring people in to set that up.
Great, thank you. And on the price point of the device, is that something that you've tested with your customers? Do you think it's a good price point for the product?
The price point as of right now is just a projection in which we're looking at. We will change based on who we're selling to, which stadium we're selling to, and the size of the stadium we're selling to. But as of right now, we feel like it's the perfect price point based on the cost of the product, but it will change based on economy of scale and the size of the stadium that we're selling it to.
Great, thank you so much.
Hey folks, good job. Two questions for you, right? The first one is you were talking about Santander at one point, and they couldn't scale to the level that you were scaling to. What's the story there? Like, can you explain a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so they developed a product, they called it Footbraille. Sorry, no, they called it Field. And essentially it was a device that they manually inputted the coordinates from a pre-existing game. They built one of them, and it's a large device around the width of my shoulders here. And it could move according to an old game that was played via footage. But due to our AI model and the size and portability of it, ours can be used for live matches in stadiums and at home for consumers.
Okay, that makes complete sense. And the second question that I have, what's your focus going to be right now? Are you focusing on bringing this to someone in their home so that they can watch a football match on TV and when they are visually impaired, or are you focused initially on getting this into the stadiums and making a better disability experience?
We're focusing entirely on the stadium to start off with, because we want to sell B2B to start off with, and we feel like it's much easier to get this into the stadiums than it is to get it into the hands of the blind consumers at home. So we want this to be, and the pre-existing solutions in stadiums, they already have the infrastructure ready. So they hand out headsets to all the visually impaired fans already. So all we have to do is give the headsets or give our devices to the stadiums along with the headsets. So all the infrastructure is already in place. We just need to sell our devices. So the consumer product is in the future, and we want to focus on the stadiums now.
And then my final question, right, is like, I know that machine vision is very sensitive, right, to like the angle that you're putting it from. Have you already done any trials with like setting into this actually up at matches and then actually running it and seeing how you have to change the algorithm based on where you set it up and the angles and everything like that?
Yeah, so we've just actually set it up in Dalymount Park, and that's the first thing we do is, so we filmed one match, which was the women's match last week, and that was purely for kind of recalibrating or retraining the machine learning algorithm so that it was used to the angles that it was working with, and like how the ball changed sizes at whatever angle our particular cameras are at. So but now once that has been done, it's now ready to go for matches and working as usual.
Great. Stuart, fire away.
Yeah, so I'm just I'm wondering from your early conversations with associations and individual clubs or whatever, and the people that are mentoring you right now, what's the main selling point from the stadium's perspective? Are they looking at this as being a kind of a CSR play that they can talk about, or are they looking at it being just what they try to do already with headsets and they're just making it better for some of their fans? What's their motivation?
I think it's a 50. Okay, apologies. It's a combination of both, really. You get some clubs who are very for want of a better word, just focus on looks and appearances, and they'll be interested in the CSR side, make themselves look good. And then you have some clubs who are genuinely continuously actively searching for things like such as ourselves to just make a better difference for their fans. I think what we found in the clubs we've talked to, that they are a genuine combination of the both of these things. And I guess, with what we're doing, we can play it to either ear depending on, what they're looking for more.
There's a huge interest among fans at the minute with actually, due to the amount of viral videos that have come out about this, that stadiums have noticed all the interest that it garners by having because blind people, it strikes a chord with people because they can't see the action. So stadiums have noticed this, and that's why they're in the recent years have started focusing so much of their money and time on making it possible for visually impaired fans to go to the stadiums. And I mean, it sounds amazing, and it sounds like there's traction there to be had. How are you protecting yourself from somebody bigger and better coming along and saying, this is a good idea, I'll just implement it quicker? Well, we're looking at various patent ideas at the minute. So the main thing we want to patent is our AI model, because that is the thing that will differentiate us from the competition and will make us infinitely scalable. So we've already been talking to some lawyers, and we're trying to figure out what within our product can we patent, as the hardware itself isn't particularly it isn't complex enough to be entirely unique. So we want to patent the AI model and make that be our differentiator, because that's the thing that means we're scalable. We can go to any stadium, we can have the consumer product at home. As I said, it's already been done at a smaller scale with a small recording, manually inputted. So yeah, that's what we're looking to make. That's our unique selling point in the future. Okay, one kind of judging panel tip. I worked on a project recently that was soccer related, football related, and professional footballers who are very rich people are often really interested in being investors in this kind of thing. Great place to go to get some money.
We'll I'll get my contact book out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Field Division, and thank you so much indeed to all of the teams we've heard from. That was all 10 of our demo day pitches for 2021. It flew by, you all did so well. Before we send our lovely panel of judges off to their deliberation room to come up with the first, second and third place winners for this year's demo day, I just wanted to say a very short few words of thanks. First of all, of course, to the judges themselves. Thank you so much. Such engaged and incisive questions. It really makes the difference, especially with an online event, to have people who are so enthusiastic. It's so appreciated. Thank you very much. I'd also like to say that, as I say every year, we couldn't run Launchbox in a vacuum, and we don't. So thank you to everyone who came in to speak to the teams, to donate their time, to mentor, to share their own founder mishaps and misadventures. It is so appreciated. To our partners, Bank of Ireland, thank you for your support this year and every year. It's much appreciated. To Lola and Dylan, who have been helping me all summer. You've been amazing, and Dylan, well done for all of the screen sharing today. And also to Josh and Hazel, who have been a big help in the run-up to Demo Day. But finally, my biggest thanks to the startups themselves. I think this time last year, we would not have imagined that Launchbox Demo Day would once again be taking place via Microsoft Teams. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I thought about 2021 as kind of a COVID-free zone, and that has not been the case, and it has not been the experience. Despite everything going on, despite talk of variants, vaccinations, everything else, the enthusiasm and engagement was there from the teams all along. The progress you have made has been phenomenal. And just on a personal note, you made it an absolute pleasure to run the programme. So well done. I am going to stop gushing because I want to just go on and on. Judges, I will leave you to jump off to your private Zoom room to make a very difficult decision. I don't envy you. And we will be here waiting. In the meantime, we will hear from our CEO of Tangent, Ken Finnegan. So thanks so much, judges. I will come and check on you in a moment. And everybody else.
I just want to say before you go that I'll do a little gushing on behalf of Alison, who is just the most amazing leader of this program and brings it together no matter what the circumstances are, and congratulations. And the opposite of gushing, what a terrible job you've given the three of us. This is a ridiculous decision to try and make us make. So thanks, but not thanks.
I understand, and I will take that home with me and think about what I've done. Thank you so much for those words, Stuart.
Hello there, and thank you for joining us today at our flagship Launchbox Demo Day for 2021. Sponsored by Tangent's innovation partner, Bank of Ireland, Launchbox is the longest running and most successful program of its kind in Ireland. Established in 2013, this pioneering accelerator guides students with innovative ideas through the process of building effective ventures through collaborative workshops, expert mentorship, and a non-equity investment of €10,000 each over 12 weeks. As our flagship entrepreneurship initiative, Launchbox offers the next generation of founders unrivaled access to a wealth of industry leaders, best-in-class education, and a superb network opportunity. I also believe that any student from any school or faculty can become an entrepreneur, and this program absolutely demonstrates it. A great example of this is the two Trinity pharmacy students, Ademi Afaladi and Lauren O'Reilly, winning last year's competition with their company Promotion. It's truly a pleasure to become acquainted with each Launchbox intake and watch them grow to greater things. Several Launchbox alumni, spanning the Accelerator's 9-year history, have achieved success in the business world. Notable past participants include Social Enterprise, Food Cloud, which aim to curb food waste, and payment processing venture TouchTech Payments, who were recently acquired by Stripe. Since 2013, the student ventures involved in Launchbox have created approximately 278 jobs and raised over 73 million in investment and funding. I would like to commend this year's Launchbox boxers for their social ingenuity, especially, as we all know, working together remotely has been absolutely challenging at times. However, the 2021 cohort enthusiastically embraced this opportunity, and I completely sympathise with the judges this year, as the calibre of startup is exceptional. They really have hard decisions to make today. Social sessions organised by the teams themselves in 2021 included a virtual Day of the Dead celebration, fittingly suggested by One Sure Thing, who you saw earlier on, cocktail tasting arranged by the thirsty folks in X-lite beverages, and online quizzes, amongst other activities. The Tangent journey is a long and winding one. We are so thankful, as always, to Launchbox alumni who come back year on year to support the next generation of teams, no matter where their journey has taken them. It is so great to have their expertise and advice for the teams. Equally, it's wonderful to see the teams on Launchbox who are alums from Tangent's education program, as well as teams who've taken part in the Provost Innovation Challenge, on our innovation sprints, and our Women Who Wow mentoring program over the years. Thanks to the companies who provide their time generously to mentor our startups, including Accionista, NDRC, Resolve Partners, Techstars, Atlantic Bridge, Frontline Ventures, Buy Me, Elkstone, Evervault, and Enterprise Ireland, amongst a few of them. I also would like to thank the Tangent Board for their support and guidance in ensuring Tangent continues to be one of Europe's best student innovation hubs, and to Trinity's leadership for their commitments to innovation and entrepreneurship for the student body. To our new Provost, Linda Doyle, Trinity's first ever female Provost, who is an absolute inspiration and the embodiment of positive change. A big thank you to Alison and the Tangent team, for which none of this would be possible without their professional and expert abilities. And finally, Bank of Ireland, our cornerstone partner. Without their support, Tangent would not be possible. So thank you so much, everybody. I look forward to watching each of our startups this year flourish, grow, and solve worthy challenges into the future. And remember, you are part of the Tangent family, so please keep in touch. You know you will always have a supportive family here in Tangent. Best of luck today.
Well, our judges have returned after some serious deliberations, and so I'm going to hand over to Michaela O'Leary to announce the third place, second place, and first place for this year's Launchbox Demo Day. Over to you, Michaela.
Hi, guys. Thank you for creating a very difficult conversation for me and Menno and Stuart to have. It really, like when I compare back to my pitch a couple of years ago, the diversity in the businesses, the traction that everyone has accomplished over a very short amount of time, and with the global pandemic as a little bit of a road bump for you guys, really blew my mind. It makes me look back and wonder what I was doing 4 years ago. So I know you're all here to hear the very important announcement, and I will get straight into it. Our third place will build some momentum. Our third place is Park Turtle. Fantastic business. We really enjoyed it. It's so strange to see you all clapping and hear nothing. But congratulations, guys.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
In second place, I'm happy to announce it's Refunk Upcycling. Again, strange to see the clapping, but everyone seems very happy.
Thank you.
And our first place, which was a really strong pitch. We loved the vision and the mission. So we decided to give first place to Fields of Vision.
Hooray!
Congratulations, well done. I mean, well done to those three teams, but well done really to all of you, and well done to the judges ultimately for making the toughest decision I think we've had yet at Demo Day, so thank you so much. Just fair play, guys, I'm sure we haven't heard the last of any of you. To the three teams who have taken home prizes, you'll be hearing from me shortly about all of those arrangements, and to everybody else, thank you so much for being here with us. And yeah, I think all of the teams are just going to head off and celebrate now for the rest of the weekend. And congratulations, everyone, and thank you again to all of our supporters. We'll hopefully see you all very soon back in the Tangent space. And as ever, if you'd like to get involved with Tangent or any of our programs, do get in touch, tcd.ie/tangent. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Well done,
everyone.
folks.
Thank you.
Congrats to everyone.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.